If you know me, you know I'm not a fan of toxic comparison culture. But when it comes to building wealth, it actually can help you see where you stand when you look at your numbers compared to others. So today we're going to look at how the average American manages their money. And stick around later because I will show you how to reach your financial goals regardless of where you're starting from. So be sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, first, let's talk about salary. The average annual salary in the U.S. is around $68,000. So you can kind of size up where you are, where your household is in regards to that. Remember, that takes the income of people just starting off. That's hourly workers, all the things, all the way to people that have been working for 40 plus years. So that is the average. Now, your income is really important because it is the tool that's going to help you build wealth. And the problem is debt comes into the picture and takes your income, right? It can leave in thousands of dollars at a time every single month going to car payments and student loans and personal loans and all the things. And those thousands of dollars is not being kept with you to invest and give and save and spend. So keeping your income is so, so important. Now, of course, again, debt is a picture for a lot of people. So the total debt for Americans is over $18 trillion. And this includes everything from credit cards to mortgages, all of it. So let's break it down to specific debt, which each one is. So let's start with credit cards. The average credit card debt balance per borrower is almost $7,000. Now, the total credit card debt in America is $1.2 trillion, which is the highest that it's ever been, meaning some people are carrying, balances that are larger than 7,000, smaller, but on average, that is it. And I'm telling you, people sign up for credit cards with great intention to play the game of points and cash back and all of it. And then what ends up happening is life happens. And if you don't have a plan, your credit card's there to catch it. And if you got to get, things fixed on the car or the roof or the kids go to the doctor, it's like, well, if we don't have money saved, I guess the credit card is our plan. So they end up using the credit card and end up putting more money on it than they realize. Or, they lose a job and they don't have an emergency fund. The credit card is their backup. And again, the interest rate, you guys, on these is insane. It's crazy. And so you end up spending so much money, not just on interest, but also the fees to have the credit card and all of it. So I love a debit card. You pay for what you need in the moment and then it's done. And part of that is having an emergency fund in place and different things. But the credit card game, it's not worth it because you'll see on average, people are carrying around $7,000 on a balance. Okay, next are car loans. The average car loan balance per person is over $24,000. Now, the average new car payment is almost $750 a month. Oh, it's a lot. Our cars, man, it's tough. It really is because it does take a while to save up a couple of $1,000s in order to buy a crappy car, at least in cash. But that is what we recommend because people get stuck in this cycle of payments and they drive their car, they pay it off in 5 years or whatever, and then they're like, oh, well, the car's paid off. It's been 5 years, let's just get a new car. And they get back into the cycle of payments. So if you cannot pay your car off in 18 to 24 months, or your car loan is more than half of your annual income, you got to get rid of the car. You have too much car at that point. Now, if you can pay it off less than 2 years, then that's fine. Pay it off. But this idea that we're going to just keep a high car loan and payments associated with our lives, it is eating away at your income. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, before we get into the rest of the stats, I do want to tell you about one of our amazing sponsors, Delete Me. So those holiday promos can be great, but with every newsletter sign up and coupon code, you are giving away your data. And that personal info can easily end up with data brokers who sell it to spammers and scammers. And that is why I recommend Delete Me. The Delete Me privacy team digs through hundreds of those data broker sites to remove your data to keep it gone, which means fewer spammy texts and robocalls. So right now you can get 20% off at joindeleteme.com/Rachel with code Rachel at checkout. So do it today. That's joindeleteme.com/Rachel, code Rachel. Now, another great company that I want to tell you about is Fairwinds Credit Union. So the new year should be about progress, not payments. And that is why one of the reasons I love Fairwinds, because they help you reach your money goals without debt. And with the Fairwinds Smart Bundle, you get a no-fee checking account, a high-yield savings account to grow your money, and the exclusive Ramsey Debt is normal, be weird, debit card. So every time you swipe, it's a reminder that you're doing money differently, and that is something to be proud of. So go to fairwinds.org/Ramsey today to start your smart bundle and grab your exclusive Ramsey Be Weird debit card. That's fairwinds.org/Ramsey. All right, we can't talk about debt stats without mentioning those student loans. Oh yeah, the average borrower has a little over $35,000 in loans. Oh man, this has been so hard because student loans, I mean, the interest rate is there. People haven't paid. And so what ends up happening is they can balloon almost over time. And it's so much more than even the original loan from where you started. And I feel like it is one of these things that people feel like, well, it's the only way to go to school. And this is the school I want to go to. So I'm going to take on the debt. And that becomes their life. And that is so normal. So doing the opposite and actually saying, hey, I may not go to the school that I want, like my dream school. I may go to a community college for a year or two. I may make choices that aren't fun and not exciting, but financially are so wise in the long term. So that when you graduate, you don't have loans and you can start your first job and you got, your paycheck. It's not going back out to loans that are going to be there. Some people, it's for 10 years they have them. So get out of student loan debt ASAP if you have it. Let that be part of your debt snowball where you pay off the smallest debt first. But it is so normal in America, as we see, average being $35,000. All right, so let's go to mortgages next, which make up about 70% of all debt in the U.S., which makes sense. Houses are expensive. So the average mortgage is right over $252,000, and the median monthly payment is around $2,200. And what's hard is it's not just that, but people now are borrowing against their home, and so HELOCs have been a very popular thing in the recent years. I feel like they're always been around, but definitely became more popular, around COVID time. So the average HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit, the balance is around $45,000. So you got your mortgages, you got your HELOCs, and they're all there together. So listen, if your HELOC is more than half of your annual income, then you can lump it into baby step 6 when you're paying off your mortgage. Now, if it's less, then go ahead and put it in baby step 2, which is just paying off consumer debt. But this is a tough one. Again, mortgages is the one type of debt we will not yell at you for. I don't like HELOCs though. Don't borrow on your house. I mean, you're making progress to pay it off. And so if you want to do renovations or do something great, then cash flow it, which means it might be cheaper. It might take longer to save and all of it. But again, financially in the long run, you're not borrowing money, which is so wise. All right, let's talk about savings. On average, people have about $62,400 in their everyday bank accounts, which includes checking, saving, and money market accounts. And 60% of Americans report having money invested in retirement plans like a 401k or an IRA, with the average account balance for those who are investing is around $334,000. But over half of millennials say that the amount of debt that they have is greater than their retirement savings. Yeah, which makes sense because of where millennials are at when it comes to their mortgages and maybe still paying off student loans and all of it. So yeah, the key here is to prioritize where your money's going. So paying off debt first and foremost, and then investing 15% of your income into retirement. Oh, you guys threw a lot of numbers at you, but I think it's good to kind of get a comparison of like, okay, where am I compared to the average person out there? And maybe you realized, gosh, I got to get on this. I got to pay off debt. I don't have a lot of savings, all of it. Or maybe you're encouraged to say, okay, we're actually doing a good job. Sometimes when you're being wise financially, you may not feel all that progress, but hopefully with some of these numbers, it was encouraging to you. But the good news is no matter where you are, you can start making progress with your money today. Now, the first thing to do is to tackle your money goals in the right order, which is the baby steps like I talked about. So you want to get a starter emergency fund of $1,000, pay off all your consumer debt, bump that starter emergency fund up to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Those are the first 3 steps. And then beyond that is saving for retirement, kids' college, paying the house off early. And the final step, baby step 7, is to build wealth and become extremely generous. Now, once you've got your plan in place, you do need a budget to make it happen. And so that is a really important part of this process. So be budgeting. That is going to be key tactically day in and day out with your money. And lastly, you want to focus on your money goals and your progress. So While we were comparing a little bit in this video, put the blinders on and look at what's best for you and your family. Now, when it comes to money, one of the best things that you can focus on is what you can control, which is the choices that you make day in and day out. So remember, you guys, you have a lot of control over your money, so you can make some really great decisions. They may not be easy ones, but they can help you in the long run. Now, if you're ready to stop stressing out about money and finally take control, I want to invite you to our Take Back Your Money live stream. This is on January 8th with Dave Ramsey and Jade Warshaw, and they're going to help you find financial freedom by getting out of debt and building wealth with confidence. And it's a great chance to get focused and motivated to change your money for the better this year. So go ahead and save your seat today. I'll put a link down in the description, so make sure to sign up. And I'm also going to include a link to my video on how to become financially literate in 8 minutes. You can click there, or if you're listening on podcasts, there's a link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.